Hey guys, welcome to the My Creative Friends podcast. Today I'm joined by Rohan, AP, also known as Keralanka. I pronounced that right, guys?
Keralanka.
Well,
It's okay. Keralanka.
You know what?
Educational podcast.
People
Keralanka.
see the world differently.
I gotta say this. It's. I should start saying Rohan, but I say Rohan, so it's okay. You can.
Sorry.
No, it's totally not your fault. That's
bottom
me.
of my heart.
That's me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dude, that was a really heartfelt apology.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Should we like intro ourselves or anything, or
Sort of what we're gonna do
Cool.
here. So what
Sounds
I want
good.
to do is, I want to understand like both of you, your individual relationship with music, and then like how Keralanka came together. So
Okay.
like the two of you guys, your own individual words.
You want to start it? Should I start it? Okay, let's do it.
Hey, whoa, come
I don't know
on.
what that was, man.
All right, so you can start, AP.
Wait, no.
Okay, you want me to start?
Let's do it proper.
So what is
So
it?
wait, I don't know. We didn't.
So
we
do you want
didn't
me to
agree on
start?
Let me
terms
rep
ahead of
this.
time.
Let me rep this. Go. One, two, three. Okay. Don't smack the mic next time.
Okay.
So
You're like, "Bah."
So my name's Rohan. I'm one half of
What's your name?
Keralanka. Rohan.
Nice.
I'm trying, man. I'm
Yeah,
trying.
just making sure.
Music's really interesting for me because I definitely, like a lot of rappers will say this, but grew up with a lot of music in the household and everything, but not necessarily like hip hop music or like soul music or what a lot of rappers grow up around. Like I grew up around a lot of like, I guess like 90s like classical rock, obviously growing up in India like until the age of 8, a lot of like, not a lot, but like some Indian Hindi music as well, but really I think what pushed me into music, like really helped me create a relationship with music, was moving here as an immigrant and having been here in like grade 4, grade 5, navigating through my own identity. I think hip hop culture is really what I gravitated towards in terms of like trying to figure out what my identity was. And then there was a little bit of like Linkin Park and like other stuff as well. Music was a very large part of just like me discovering like who I am, who I should be, to some extent, like me also like faking to be someone I'm not and whatnot. And so I think really my relationship with music started off with like trying to figure out, like it developed who I thought I was, and then eventually it just keeps getting deeper over time, and eventually you just consume so much art that the natural next step is like creation, and it's like that's when you take the step to actually start to write raps and create music and take that interest, and that's sort of how it came about for me.
Okay. Yeah. AP?
Nice. All right. So we said I have 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, for like the whole show. Yeah.
Oh,
Not for this answer.
Okay, so I got to summarize this. Okay. So basically, when I grew up with a lot of Tamil music. My parents would always play, like my dad would always just like blast Tamil music a lot. But then also like my dad and like a lot of my uncles, they listen to like a lot of reggae, disco, a lot of ABBA.
ABBA. Oh man.
Oh, same here, dude. Dancing Queen,
like,
fire.
Yeah, like every like family party, like
Yeah.
it was like
Oh.
the adults jamming to all the disco, and like the kids were like,
Dancing Queen. Family parties, huge part of like music, like just discovering music. Did you
definitely,
find that?
definitely.
Like
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
definitely. A lot
seeing
of, like,
people
the-
having a good time to music. And
Yeah.
Interesting. No, I didn't have that. That's interesting.
I guess like what got me into music was like I remember in high school, I used to be that guy who would go on Hot New Hip Hop. Shout out to everyone who remembers Hot New Hip Hop.
No idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a hip hop blog basically, and
Okay.
they post new music every day, right? So I'd come back from school, I'd go on and I'd like go through every single song that they post. Like I'd spend like an hour or two just like refreshing like what's the newest music today.
Yeah.
And then like I'd get really hyped about a few songs. Like I'm like I think this one's gonna blow up, and then I'd like tell everyone about it because
Is there like a big one that you called right off the bat? Like what's the biggest one that you called?
I remember that "Whip My Hair" song by
Oh,
Willow
by
Smith.
No,
Yeah.
Will Smith. It was his daughter.
Willow Smith. Yeah,
Oh,
Willow
they said
Smith.
Will Smith.
No, Willow
He
Smith.
doesn't have long hair. That would just be weird.
I remember I was like, this is like, I don't know if I'm a fan of this song, but I feel like this is gonna do well.
I feel like maybe Will Smith's daughter could possibly land,
right?
like, a semi-hit song.
Possibly, but also like I felt like the song itself, like I was like, I could see this being a mainstream thing. And then it was.
Are you able to actually whip your hair back and forth for the audience? At
Well,
home?
actually, I am growing my hair right now, if you can tell. So,
That's
It's
beautiful.
been whipped.
like, that was my relationship with music in high school. And I remember I watched this one video of, well, a few videos. It started with one video, and it turned into a binge.
Yeah.
Of this producer named Ryan Leslie. Have you heard of Ryan Leslie? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so basically, like, he'd be in his studio, and he just, like, basically these videos were just him, like, making songs. And I just remember thinking, like, oh, that'd be so cool to make music, you know, because I'm like, I love, like, listening to music.
Yeah.
I love, like, curating and like
Yeah.
being like the trendsetter, right? But then I was like, it would be cool to make music. But then at the time, it was like, but I don't know anything about music. So like,
Right.
I was like, I know how to drum, but like, I don't know anything about like
Yeah.
chords or notes or anything.
That's
so
an interesting thing too, though, right? Because like even like watching movies or watching really cool cinematic videos,
Yeah.
are one thing. But the moment you, like for me personally, like I watch Peter McKinnon making the video or like behind the scenes and stuff gets me juice.
yeah,
It's
because it's a
fucking
different
amazing,
perspective,
bro.
right?
It's completely
like,
different,
It's
right?
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
like
Get into the nuance.
yeah, you really appreciate the nuances behind it, right?
Yeah.
And then I just remember thinking like this would be cool, but then I was like, oh, that's just like a fun dream to like think about. It's like it's never something I'm going to pursue. It's going to take way too long to learn
Right.
all of that stuff. But you know, like technology is advanced to a point where it's like you don't have to know music theory necessarily to be able to make a good song.
Yeah.
Which is like the great thing about being a producer is like I can still like learn so much.
Yep.
But like even with my current knowledge base, like I can still make a great song. Like my first beat I made in let's see. It was in university. I think it would have been like second or third year.
Okay.
How long ago was
I don't
that?
know.
To give
Sorry,
people
sorry.
perspective.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I
Some
don't-
perspective now. End of 2014, beginning of 2015.
Okay.
Because I started DJing in 2014. So
Were
I
you
probably
doing
started
like were you
producing-
doing like DJ stuff or sorry like club stuff or what were you doing?
Yeah. So I was
Okay.
doing club stuff back in my university town, Waterloo. Yeah, shout outs to Waterloo, everybody.
Where were you doing it?
So it was like me and my friend Roshan. He
Okay.
goes by DJ Wanda. Shout outs to DJ Wanda. But basically, like we DJ'd at like Beta, and like a few of the other clubs that like closed down.
Did you guys do Starlight?
We didn't do Starlight.
Okay.
We didn't do Starlight. Shout outs to Exquisite Marketing, Vinay. He's the one who put us on. So you know, make sure to shout him out
We'll
too.
drop the hashtag.
Shout outs to all y'all.
I'm like, we'll drop the hashtag here and look at the thing and it's off frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like started off with DJing. Like that was like my first like step into the music world.
Mhm.
Like actually doing something music related was like DJing, and that was like a fun thing. And then I remember I was doing a house party, and I used to just do house parties for free because it was just fun.
It was
right?
fun,
It was
right?
fun.
Yeah.
You got out, and it's like I liked being the guy curating the music. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I remember like I was at this one house party, and then like afterwards, like someone was like, "Yo, like how much do you charge for a gig?" Like someone reached out to me on Facebook,
Yeah.
and like first of all, I was like, "I don't know who you are." Like I'm like
The first time
like,
someone you don't know asks.
fuck
Yeah.
you, no, like I didn't say it, but like my first thought is like, "Whoa, I don't know who you are. So how do you know that I DJ?" I'm
Are
like,
you a Nigerian prince? Oh my god! What the?
I'm like, this is cool, right? And then they were like asking like how much I charge, and I
Yeah.
was like, so you're saying I can make money off of this too? Like this is fun, and I can make money off
Yeah.
of this? I'm like, this just seems like no brainer. So I started doing that, and then that's how I got into the whole club scene
Nice.
in Waterloo, and then that led to producing.
Yeah. And you know your way around it too, though. So how long have you been playing around with music?
I recorded my first track. I started with rapping and then started to learn a little bit more
Yeah.
about production after, but I recorded my first track in, I believe, grade 9. So like when I was like 14, I think.
Okay.
I'm 26 now.
What does the audio setup look like? Grade 9.
Bro, listen, for me, a large...
Was it the computer like headset?
It was it wasn't the headset. No, I was part of this like online community of like people who would design stuff and then like do writing and stuff. And I picked up all these skills online with a bunch of online friends I'd met, like primarily like designing and writing and stuff like that. And for some reason, like it eventually led into rapping. Like some people were just interested in it, and I was like, when I saw other people like describe like, oh, all you need is Adobe Audition and one mic, and
Yeah.
then you can like do some mixing. I was like, what the fuck? Okay,
Yeah.
so let me try it out because I listen to so much rap anyway. And my first ever rap that I recorded was over this Lil Wayne beat called Gossip, which is literally an unreleased song that still doesn't exist today. But I found some like dingy instrumental off YouTube, recorded to it, fucking trash. But at the time, like when I made that shit, I was like,
It'd
God
be sick
damn,
if you guys dropped
like-
the track one time where it's like about humble beginnings or some shit. Like
Hell
you guys
yeah,
get real big,
yeah.
and then you just like you sample the beginning of that.
that'd be crazy.
And like the
That'd
beginning
be
of
hella
the first beat I made.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I was
right?
gonna say.
That'd be crazy.
Yo.
And then we give Costa 10% royalties.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
No.
no. That's
So how did Keralanka happen?
all right.
Oh man, we haven't told this story in a while.
No, we haven't. We haven't.
Well,
It's
so
been a while.
AP and I have known each other. Well, maybe I'll do half, you'll do half.
Yeah.
So,
Let's, yeah.
Like,
Or we'll just like go off.
We'll just go
ping
off each
pong.
other. Like, so yeah, we met playing ping pong.
Yeah.
I love ping pong, bro.
No,
Next session, I'm in.
So AP and I, we've known each other for like a while. Like I know AP through my boy Roy, who so I've known you since what? My second year was your first year.
My first
So
year,
like
which was
2012.
12.
Yeah, so
2012.
2012. I've known him since 2012. So we've been homies, which I think is a pretty significant factor in
Yeah.
regards to like our working
Definitely.
chemistry. But in regards to how we actually started making music together, oh yeah, this is a great story actually. Yeah, so
Yeah.
so AP had started DJing actually, and at this point I was more interested in like fourth and fifth year. Like I was of university. I had sort of, to be honest, let go of music a little bit, like creation. I was still very passionate about the industry, but I was more focused on like the industry business side of things. So I'd actually started like a startup, and I was a founder
Right.
of a music tech company. But obviously still have love for the music and everything.
Yeah.
And I remember after one of AP's DJ gigs that I went to, we all came back, we were just kicking in my basement. It's like 2 a.m. or whatever. And I start like, I don't know what exactly, it was you, me, and Roshan. And
Yeah.
we start talking about like, I threw something technical out there. And mind you, like for context, like I don't know anyone in real life who like knows anything technical about music.
Okay.
Not like music theory, but like equalization and compression and shit.
Like more
Right.
like the mixing
The
side
mixing
of things.
side of
Yeah.
things. And I throw out some term, and then he just holds on to it, and he's like, yeah, because the compression and the EQ. I'm like, what the fuck? This guy knows what he's talking. What?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, like, you know what I'm talking about? And he was like, yeah, I've been like watching like videos on
There's a
YouTube
lot
and
of
all this
videos
shit.
at
And I'm
the
like,
time.
that's crazy. And then I took another hit of the joint.
It's the one and only Digo Double G.
Can I say that?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And at this point, it's 3 a.m. and I'm like, yo, AP, like, yo, do you actually like want to like go into my room? And this is not heading where you
Yeah, I
think
was
it's
like,
heading.
Whoa,
No, I was like, yo, do you want to actually like make some music? Like crazy. And he was like, yeah, I'm down. And then for like we go into my room and we literally just tried to like recreate this one synth part of like the song that I was really liking. And then it's like, I think it's like 5 hours later.
It was like, so okay, basically, so Rohan lived in the basement of this house, right? So it's like the basement had like this one window like up there next to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And it's like when we started, it was just dark outside, right? And
It's
we-
3 a.m. Yeah.
literally like this one synth sound. We're just like who know, like in the moment, we don't know how long.
Mind
we
you, I've
spent
never
it.
Yeah.
worked with this guy either. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've never worked together either. And we're just like really trying to recreate it. We're like, we can make this. And like, who knows how much time later, like probably like 4 or 5 hours. Cause like I look up at the window and it's like sunny outside.
It's
And
not
I'm
like sunrise. It's like sun's up.
like it's past sunrise, but it's not fully sun's up
Okay,
yet.
okay,
But it's
okay.
like, you're like, there's light outside and I hear the birds chirping. So it's
Oh.
like, it's morning now.
Yeah.
And we're like, first of all, we didn't successfully recreat that.
No,
synth
that was a
on-
fail.
but
I was gonna ask.
first attempt, first attempt.
Yeah, yeah.
And then first time ever working together. So
That was-
it's fine.
that
That's
was-
fine. But like, I think like that was the moment when it, like that was one of the moments where like it definitely like clicked where it's like, oh, like this is dope. Like we can get like lost in this,
Yeah.
in this, like in
Yeah.
the creation
Right.
of
Without noticing that so much.
Without
time was-
noticing,
I don't
yeah.
think it was like, all right, well now we're gonna start a music
No.
group.
It was definitely like one of the first
But it's like you guys
triggers,
enjoy working-
but it wasn't even like
Yeah.
a conscious trigger at the time.
No,
It's
no.
more like reflecting back now. It's like I can definitely say like that was one of the first moments.
Pivotal moment.
Definitely.
Pivotal moment.
And now you guys are doing shows. You guys, how many tracks now is it?
17 tracks currently out. About to be a lot more this year.
Oh yeah,
A lot more.
A lot
I think
more.
we're gonna,
A lot
we're
more
gonna
in the
at least
catalog
we're
this
gonna
year.
at least double our catalog this year. At least.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah, definitely.
And so this has been what, 2 years or a year and a bit?
Depends how you want to look at it. Since we released our first song, like 2.5 years.
Yeah, because
2.5 years.
Since
Okay.
we released our first song, yeah.
So you guys are early on, but you guys have already started establishing like a fan base. You have. And so you guys have shows. Obviously went to the last one, pumped. Like so many people were there going crazy.
shout outs
Like,
to
I'm sure-
Costa's
Shout out to
amazing acting
Costa's
skills.
acting and that.
Okay, now Bob, Your party has come under fire for your take on foreign policy. Can you explain to the people what you will do to end the war on Chirac?
That's a great question. Thank you so much for that question. I think it's a great question. I love you. You're fantastic. Everything you do in your panel and your network. I think the great thing about that question is it encourages ideas. It encourages thought leadership. And that's just what I expect from you and you guys. And that's why your question is absolutely fantastic. And we should lock up the immigrants.
Lock up the immigrants? Are
Yes,
you
we
out
should
of
lock
your
them
fucking
up.
mind? You're so
Yeah?
dumb.
Okay.
Lock yourself up.
Keep talking.
You make no
Okay,
sense.
listen.
You don't even make dollars.
You're
Yeah.
like throwing a
Yeah.
screenshot of Acosta.
yeah,
Like,
do
you
it,
should
do it,
actually
do
put
it.
like Bob McCosta right here. This guy.
Right
Look
there.
at that fucking dirty stash right there.
Wow.
Gee.
No, but with that being said, like, and I'm sure that was one of those moments, but like, what was the first like pinch me moment? Like, oh shit, like this is sick.
March 2nd.
Oh yeah,
March
I
2nd?
think
March
I
2nd,
could definitely agree with
2019,
that.
dude.
March
Dude.
2nd, 2019, our
First
first
show.
show.
Yeah.
I think that was oh actually no, not even I think I know because
No.
like oh man, I remember at one point just like going backstage and like it was like this was like midway through the show, right?
Midway through the set, like taking a like while
While like a skit was playing and then it was just so surreal. Like I was like, wow. Rohan's like, yo man, I could literally die right now. Like I want to do so much more, but I could die right now and be happy. And I'm
Yeah.
like, aim into that because I'm like totally on board. Like there's so much I want to do, but like in that moment, it was like a different feeling, man.
What we said before we went on stage that night was I said, yo, let's go on there and be okay with dying at midnight if it happens. Like that's
There we
the
go.
kind of show
That's-
we got to
yeah.
put on, and that's legitimately like honest to God, that's how I felt.
I remember like the week after, like I was just like, yo,
The week,
I'm not even the week.
The
It was
month.
it was definitely like the month. It was like it was like, yo, that just happened. like I'd go over to his place or he'd come to mine, and the conversation would always start with, yo, we did that.
Yeah,
Like, you know?
sorry to harp on this, but this moment's so pivotal to us, and we're probably gonna talk about this for the rest of our careers because
Yeah,
it's
facts.
like we
Big
used to practice in my mom's basement.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Like and basically put on she has a projector screen there, you've seen it, and
Yeah.
we would put on like mosh pit videos or like even just crowds like with their hands up,
Yeah.
and we'd pretend that's the crowd and we'd be like, yeah, throw your hands up. Like we practiced this like for at least a year and a half before we actually did it, way before we had any like fans at all and way before we had any indication of this being a real thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so what's crazy is we're backstage and we would always before we go on to perform during
We'd
our
be
practice
backstage.
days, we'd be backstage at aka at the side of my mom's basement, and I'd be like, yo, do you hear them chanting Keralanka right now? And he'd be like, I hear it. And I'd be like, I hear it. And what's crazy is it sounds fucking crazy, but it's like when we were backstage and everyone was actually chanting
man,
Keralanka
that
before we
was-
went on, like I look at AP and I'm like, dude, this is the side of our like my mom's basement right now. Remember when we said that would happen? And look, do you hear it right
Like,
now
yeah,
through these
that
walls?
was-
Like they're waiting for us to come out like chanting, like we literally like we said it and it happened.
And
You know
it-
what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
exactly.
So
Yeah,
that
that
like
was
to be honest,
unreal.
I just got shivers right now just
Yeah,
thinking
like,
back
I
to
just-
that. Like
I was literally
that
just
was
reliving that as you said
just
that.
such a pivotal like pinch me like holy shit, this can't be real, but I know it's real moment.
Are those live shows the biggest motivators? Like, are those the things
Yeah.
that get you?
I don't know
pumped?
if I can name something bigger than
Yeah,
that right
like
now
that-
at this point.
yeah,
You know, maybe
at this
something
point,
will
yeah,
pop up, but right now, dude, just seeing people like in the flesh, like
Yeah.
because so many things are inflated online, man. At
Yeah.
the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's like
It's like, yeah, like you
people
can-
buy followers,
Yeah.
people buy likes.
Like, you can
people
always get numbers
Yeah,
online,
yeah.
but like
can
getting
buy
numbers
To get
in
people,
person,
even just
and like
getting people
actually
out of
getting
their house and
exactly
like coming to
to
your
come
show.
see
Yeah.
you. It's like because like even like as a DJ, like I've had like a fraction of this feeling before. Like I remember like when I do gigs, I'd be like, yo, this is cool. Like there are people like coming out just for the event, but
Yeah.
there are also people coming out just to see
for
me
DJ AP
right?
because they
Yeah,
like DJ
Which is
AP.
dope because like I remember like the first time actually like was at this this formal event and I go on and I just hear people chanting DJ AP and I think that was the first time I had like a good fraction of like that feeling of our first show.
Yeah.
But like the difference was when you're a DJ, you're playing other people's music. When you're a producer, like when you're in this space, like
Yeah.
when you're doing your own concert, it's like people are there to hear your music and to see you perform it, right? And that adds like another level onto that.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I think it's even more impressive when you like, that last show you guys got a healthy amount of people there, and I think it's really
Yeah.
impressive too because I think in today's day and age, like
I don't want to say half of it, but a lot of the reason why people go to concerts is because they want to be like, I went to the Beyonce concert, right? So when someone, and like people are lazy now, like even the way culture is adapted, like people just want to sit on their couch and watch Netflix, not go to the theater and do whatever, right?
Yeah.
So to get people out into your show, and like, you guys are going to be big, I know you are, but like you guys are still at the beginning now, right?
Yeah.
People
Absolutely.
going, that means they like fucking love your shit. And that says a lot. Like, that's fucking sick.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I think,
thank
you
you,
know,
man.
we've always been of the mindset of depth over breadth.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
would much rather have 200 people in a room that fucking love us than like 1,000 people in a room who are
Like,
just sort of there
they're
because like we have
cool.
one song on the radio and they're like they're waiting for that one song and they pay $10. Like, it's
100%.
all about depth, man.
yeah, it's definitely all about depth.
Okay, so
We're having a good time.
quick
here.
break
Yeah,
by our
geez.
sponsors. Joking, there are none.
Actually, buy corn from your local corn producer. We are Keralanka and we're corny as fuck, but the music bangs.
I'm going to try and not read directly off my iPad for this
That's
one.
okay.
Okay, I'm
Do
actually
you-
going to read directly off my iPad for this one.
Do your
Okay.
thing, man.
Something I love is when artists are not afraid to like experiment and play around a lot with their music, right? And so one thing that's pretty cool, like especially listening through again, like the last few days to your music, was like there are a couple tracks that are just so wildly different from each other. The impressive thing is that it still sounds like Keralanka. Like you guys did a really good job of that. But like going from Tanned Oracle to Conversations with Janet are like completely different from each other.
Having a conversation with Janet about a planet and nominations are grander. I mean delusions, not to say that you can't, but getting the award take a lot of space on the bandwidth. Y'all janitorial, piss in your editorial. You clean it up like my bitch, I get my euphoria from the sense of you reaching down to adore your new oracle in the form of this glorious brown skin, we victorious.
Which track felt the most out there when you were making it? And were one of you guys like,
Oh, damn. That's a really good question. You're a great journalist. So we have this track called Then and Now.
I've been running around ego tripping, destroyed in the city like the Eagles winning. Check my wallet and my visa missing, cause I impacted you, but I need the credit.
It's like when I made that, like, well, I'm sorry. When we made that, wow, what the fuck am I?
okay, guys, I need you not to break up on the show.
When I wrote that song, like the lyrics to it, like, cause I had a general, like, like this is how I remember the track being made.
Yeah.
Is like I had a general premise of like how I wanted to evolve over time.
Yeah.
Because it was like deeply personal from a
Yeah,
songwriting
from
perspective.
songwriting.
And I think there's this one part where like it goes from the super mellow piano and like me sort of rapping to like this like don't fuck with my inner man, like me sort of
gets very
screaming
hype.
and like super
Gets
hype.
very
And I
hype
was
at
like
that
trying to
point.
describe it to AP.
Yeah.
And at certain points, I definitely had the thought of like, this is like changing a lot. Like this is like a very mellow, like put your cell phone lights in the air, like and wave around
But then
song.
it
But it's
gets, like-
also a mosh pit song.
Yeah.
But it's also like a listen to the lyrics and vibe to it song. It's like it's trying to be a lot of things. And so I was like, do I want to put this out? But I didn't like. There was no doubt because it just meant so much to me.
Yeah, it's just like at the end of the day, we're like, it's like you're making music that people can appreciate, but
Yeah.
it's like you hope that they can appreciate your experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So it's
facts.
like it's deeply personal in that realm of like this is what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So it's like I hope a lot of people vibe with it, but it's
Yeah.
like I'm gonna put it out anyways because this is just like me at the end of the day.
I
right?
hope
Yeah.
y'all come to the shows, but I'm not making music for you.
There's a great,
right?
there's a really,
It's like
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Ed Sheeran literally has said that. He's like, I don't make music for people. I make them because it's what I need and what I want to
and
make.
it's dope that people appreciate
And
it.
it's a thin
like,
line,
it's-
yeah.
we're very grateful for that part of it too, right? But
Yeah.
it's like the initial inspiration is not make it for the fans or make it for the people. It's this it's like Rohan coming into my studio and being like, yo, this is what I'm feeling today.
Yeah.
Like, can we do something like this? Or I'll be like, yo, what do you think of this beat? And then it's like it's from there, right? And it's stems
Yeah.
from there.
And when you start from there, it's good. Because
Yeah.
when you start from that place,
So
then the
100%.
fans that love you from then on, they evolve with you that way. They're,
Yeah.
they're with you no matter what
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do.
Exactly.
exactly.
Like I like to think without sounding too manipulative. I
Yeah.
like to think that we can bend people to like.
It sounds a little, no joking.
I know it does, but like no, not bend them over. No, like I think we can, a lot of great artists have put out music that their fan bases have challenged them on.
Yeah.
Right? Like at the end of the day, like it's like Kendrick Lamar putting out To Pimp a Butterfly as his second album was the riskiest move ever, but it paid off because his true fans were like, "Yo, I appreciate that after putting out like an album where like you have a top 20 like charting single, fact check that, but like very commercially successful songs, you make like a jazz rap like super unapologetically black album. Like I love that, like and as a result he's getting people in his fan base to listen to music that they would have never before listened to. I think that's I'm not just trying to, speaking for myself, I'm not just trying to put shit out there that people are already listening to. It's like you can go get that from Drake, you can go get that from Kendrick, you can go get that from whoever, but I want you to come to us and be like, well, I didn't think I would like this, but it's like you're kind of changing my mind a little bit.
All right, so this is a segment called Behind the Snap. All right.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
nice.
What?
I'm gonna name 3 tracks, and I want you guys just to give me some context.
Okay.
Our tracks?
Yes.
Oh, our
Okay.
tracks.
No, like.
I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah,
Snoop Dogg's
cool.
Drop It Like
Based
It's
on-
Hot. Yeah. I was actually in the studio when he made
so
that.
Can we so can we rename it from Behind the Snap to Behind the Rap?
We're gonna start off with Conversations with Janet.
Having a conversation
So I
with
guess that one started from a songwriting perspective. Right?
Yeah. So I was just in my like mom's basement again, like reminiscing on shit. And there's a dear friend of mine named Janet who I have like quite often have very introspective conversations with, and that's sort of where it stemmed from, is like having a conversation with Janet, and then about her planet and nominations to grander. Like it's sort of like that was sort of the branch, and then a lot of my favorite artists go on tangents and sort of use one starting point to then like move into like very different directions, which is sort of my intent from a songwriting perspective with that track. And to be honest, like I started writing lyrics. We only made the beat after. I wanted to start from a songwriting perspective. And so what that is it's a lot of things, like me sort of just thinking about like my psyche when it comes to trying to do something above the norm, right? Like we talking about all the highly favored romantics, yet we all just a product made of semantics. Like we're all just a product made of our words and like what we speak into existence. And then just like diving into my vulnerability when it comes to like, now that I've quit my full-time job and I'm literally like fucking rapping full time, which sounds like a fucking high school SoundCloud rapper joke, but it's truly like what I want to do. And so it's like, y'all know my art is made for the canvas. So when I hit the paint, you can find me naked and frantic, right? It's like I finally reached this point in life where I'm able to like unapologetically put the truest version of myself out there. And so that's sort of how that, shout out to Janet. Thank you for the inspiration. And that's sort of where it went.
All right, next track. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
This one I want more context on. Losing Friends.
Losing Friends.
Ooh, okay.
Oh man. Should I take
I just
it?
felt the whole mood of the table drop.
Yeah, well,
Cause I'm fed up with the love and susceptible to hate. Feeling none of the above when it comes to answer fakes. Pigeons pitching me to take my breath soon as I beg.
that's obvious. It's about death. Like it's a complex song from a standpoint. It's very deeply personal. The trigger of how that song started was a friend of mine passed away.
Okay.
Her name is Nicole. And she'd killed herself, and so it was just a very grounding moment, and there was a lot of reflection that happened, and the song isn't necessarily just about her. It's about like a very holistic, encompassing vision of death, perspective on death, and there's a lot of sort of internal reflection there too, because what I realized was you just sort of snap into this moment where you're like, I can literally think back to like my final moments with her, which was like I ran into her at a bar in Toronto and it was her birthday, and we got shots and it was a super fun moment and everything, but you never think like that's the last time I'm going to see that person, because
Definitely.
And that's a very humbling, grounding moment, because you start to realize, well, there's lots of people around me, like regardless of closeness to them, like where like am I holding on to energy that might be disabling me from like growing that relationship.
Right.
Like there are people very close to me who I have shunned because of internal issues, or because like maybe they were going through a rough patch and like they were projecting those insecurities on me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't need this negative energy,
Yeah.
which is cool. Like you got to do you and you got to live your truth at that time if
Yeah.
someone's being toxic. But at the same time, it's like, it humbles you because it's like, yo, well, at the same time, I still need to be here for this person. I still deeply love this person. And so it's just a perspective on like losing friends, but also like getting over your own ego to be able to reconnect with people and like tell people you love them. It's like the last few lines on that track are, remember days when we laughed and got high. I've been meaning to tell you that I'm glad you're alive. We say we're busy, understand that it's fine till we end that book early on the chapter and die. You know, when you hit someone up and you're like either they hit you up or you hit them up and you're like, we should catch up. We should catch up.
Yeah.
You don't set a date. I guess we're both busy. Understand that it's fine till we end that book early on the chapter and die. And that's sort of the perspective that track's coming from, is like, I'm trying to like end that. And I haven't, like, I've definitely gotten better at it, but you know, it's an endless, it's a journey trying to get to that point where you're able to,
Yeah, that's a tough thing though, because like you
Yeah,
said, like
definitely.
you going through something tough and you project this, like it can be perceived as just being a negative person or being
Totally, yeah.
a person with you just don't want to be around them, but you don't really know what they're going through. But at the same
Yeah.
time, like, you don't know.
You don't.
You don't know,
No.
because man, at the end of the day, like there's just a lot of people that are sour people, right?
Yeah.
And like I think you just have to go off of, you know, like how well do you know them, and if you know them well and they're just this is more of a recent thing, then hey, maybe it's something that's just happening. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's hard. It's, you know,
It's
at the same
really
time
hard,
you're busy
man.
and you have your own things going on, your life's going
Yeah.
on, and it's hard.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
hard to stop
Yeah.
and pause.
It's not a
and reflect,
code I've
right?
cracked yet. It's not a code I've cracked yet,
But I don't think you do though. I don't think people can crack it. I think you can just do your best to take something like that, tragic like that, and like and think a bit more about it. But at the end of the day, like you can't. It's hard to stop life, especially when you guys are doing your thing and like you're full throttle into it. It's hard to take a step back sometimes and be like, wait, I wonder if like this one of a bunch of friends that I haven't heard from a long time is like going through a tough time.
It's about
hard.
balancing like that level of empathy and understanding of like, okay, like what could they be going through, with also like, okay, but I have this much time in a day, right?
Yeah.
A level of balance between like, you can't always just be there for everyone, right?
Yeah.
As much as we might want
But when
to.
you're in the moment, if you see them,
Yeah, but it's like,
But
if you see them and you know they're going
Make
through
the most
something,
out of
why
that
not,
moment,
right? Make the
man.
most out of that moment.
Right.
Exactly.
I feel like the least you can do, and I think this is a good place to start, is just, like whenever you're with somebody that you care about, regardless of how that interaction is going, don't leave it on a bad note.
Exactly.
And that's the best thing you
know,
can do.
my parents always like my mom would always say like, I never want to go to sleep mad at your dad, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's such a
that's so
powerful
important.
thing. And
That's
they
so
definitely
important.
have gone to sleep mad at each other.
Yeah. But it's just like having that philosophy in the back of your head.
That's
right?
tight,
It's,
you know, like even with friends, it's like, yo, try and keep some level of like positivity
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
definitely.
when you believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more track for you guys.
Okay.
From
Where you from? Where you really from? Tell me about your color and your brothers and your bonds. I've been on, but you is what I'm off. I don't fuck with switches, dog.
Do you want to take this?
Yeah, I'll take
you
this
take
one.
this one.
'Cause, this one
I've been
started
hogging.
more from a production standpoint.
It's a good one.
This one's a good one. So basically, we during that period we always made music in Rohan's basement, right?
yeah.
But then this day, Rohan's like, "Yo, like we should switch environments. Why don't we go upstairs?"
In the same house.
Same house. We're in the
Yo,
same
it
house.
makes a huge difference.
studio.
But
Huge
it's just,
difference,
it's like
man. No,
even
huge
that
difference.
like
Huge
slight
difference.
switch of environment like does make a big difference.
Yeah,
'Cause
man.
You're so used to just being like in this space that it's like even just being like next to the kitchen or in the dining room is like a big difference.
Even if you're like used to looking this direction when you're writing something, and
It's
you
like,
turn around,
you turn
and see
around,
the, like,
right?
the Led Zeppelin
Facts.
poster, and you're like,
yeah,
oh
dude,
shit!
It's,
Like, you
it's
know,
literally because like physically breaking out of those patterns of behavior like makes you mentally break out and open your mind to new ideas, right?
Right.
Which is like a great way to like whenever you're creatively stuck, it's like just switch your environment. Like that physical space change is gonna make a change mentally, right? At the end of the day. And it's like, so basically how this started was like we go upstairs and we like plug in his keyboard, we have his Bluetooth speaker. Was it Bluetooth or I
Yeah,
don't
it
know
was
if
a
we
Bluetooth speaker, yeah.
So there's like a bit of delay, but then like I just like start playing like 3 notes. And then I'm like, it's like,
And if you know like any bit of music theory, like those, like
It's
I think
so
I think
simple.
it's literally like CBA or something.
Yeah, it was
shit
like
that.
really simple, and
Like
it's like the thing about like sometimes it's like when you're in the process of making it, like you see the notes you're pressing, right, and you're like, this seems way too simple. Like,
Basic.
I'm like moving up a scale or moving down a scale, and it seems too basic. But then it's like you have to remember, it's like wait, like it's music. Just stop looking at it and just listen
Vibe.
to it, right? Like,
Yeah.
does it sound right? If one person sees something, it's like I think like the other person usually like steps back and like, okay, let's
That's
like let
good.
them explore, and then like after a while, okay, let's see like where it goes, right?
Yeah.
And this was definitely one of those. I was like, okay, let's see like where this goes, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't remember
And
what.
then
what we added
I
next,
was just like, no, it was literally like AP had to go home in 30 minutes. So I'm like, okay, just get the mic. I don't know what the lyrics are, but I just know this melody. Auto tune this melody right now, and I was just like, na 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 na.
I don't wanna answer questions. I've been in my own head full time. Blood in the room, but I ain't straight.
And then we just recorded that, and the next day we are like, okay, this is obviously like trash because we just like took him. But it's like
the
there's
idea
something
was
there. The
definitely
idea is
Like,
there, right?
At that point, I was on board. I was like, I can definitely hear something
And
here.
so it turned into that track, an experience I went through when I first came to Canada, where when I first came to Canada from India, when I was in grade 4, when I was 8 years old or 9 years old, whatever.
Yeah.
I I didn't know any language except for English. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I only spoke English. Like I grew up speaking English. I did not speak any Indian languages, and I was sent to ESL, which is English as a second language. And
I
I was
remember
just
this
very
part of the song.
confused.
Yeah.
Because like I took this test, this ESL test, and I scored 100% actually, which was insane to me because I didn't think I was that good at English, but okay. And they were like, okay, cool, you scored 100% on the test. We're sending you to ESL. I'm like, what was the point of the test? And so it's clearly just a policy that sends all immigrants to, right? And so like, I got out of ESL in a week and a half because they realized I was too advanced, humble brag. But like, I got out in a week and a half, but that experience always stuck with me because I was like, this makes like, what? This makes no sense. And that actually ended up inspiring one of the characters of the Keralanka universe, Mr. A.
yeah, that
Which
guy.
is a racist, the caricature of a racist
That
teacher.
scumbag.
That fucking scumbag played by AP. I mean, oh wait, no, he's not played by AP.
Whoa, what?
But
That's a totally different dude,
yeah.
man. He just
Yeah, I
has
don't know.
similar facial
I think he has
features.
like blonde hair.
Yeah,
he has blonde
I have
hair.
black
He's a
hair.
fucking.
I think the
Actually,
hat's
you can
like-
probably
He does
put
have
a,
a
you can probably
black
put a
beard,
picture up.
though.
of him right
He does,
here,
yeah,
right?
it's like
his
that's
beard is
This
like
is him right there, fucking weirdo.
when I look at the videos that you guys have put out.
Yeah.
The one that sticks out where I'm like, I want this video to be better than that one was Kumar.
Put me down, bring me up. Lone wolf in these streets and I don't give a. Call me Kumar, bitches racist. Light up in the room, leave you fooled by faded.
I'm gonna break a bone, I'm gonna break a bone.
Don't get me wrong. Love shooting Counterfeit. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think it's a good video.
Yeah.
Kumar's still the best video you guys
You think
have.
so?
It still is the best video you
nice.
guys have.
Ooh.
It is
Oh,
so
shit.
fire.
Okay. Damn, really?
So yeah, we gotta shoot again.
Hot
because
take,
I
hot
gotta,
take.
I gotta yeah.
what do you? I mean, I don't think it's a hot take.
No,
what,
no,
do
I'm
you
just
think?
kidding.
It's yeah.
What do you think, AP?
I actually haven't thought
It's
about
definitely
it.
down to those two for me.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
That was so much fun.
That
was
super
like
fun.
It's like, oh man.
one of my favorites.
There's like
Sorry, no.
Okay, I was just gonna say it's like, because also like I'm considering the process behind them.
Oh,
right.
right.
It's
Right.
like, like the DIY feel of Kumar was like definitely like it was so unorganized. Everything was all over the place.
Terrible.
But like
Oh my
that
God.
was like part of the fun.
Bro,
of
there's
doing
no
Kumar.
movement. Yo, there's no organic movement in that video. It's all in post.
Everything was on a
It's
tripod.
all on a tripod.
Everything
and
was on a
anytime you
tripod.
see anything moving, it's all in post. There's no steady cam.
Yeah,
there's-
but it's like,
But
so
even
it's
like
so hard to say. I don't know.
you guys are in Kumar, like you're actually not moving. Like literally, the bodies are not moving almost
Yeah.
for any of the shots.
no,
right?
it's like still frame shots
Yeah.
that were like, hey, this is the perfect frame. Don't move like too much.
I see what you're saying though, Costa, because it's like that video like very well encompasses like the idea of the Keralanka universe the
And
characters,
characters.
like the different. I see what you're saying. I can respect that opinion. I don't know how I feel. I don't know
Yeah,
if I like.
to be honest, like I don't know. I'm
I,
pretty
like they're
split.
pretty tied to me, but I see what you're saying. Like that. Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
You
I'm
edited
definitely
Kumar
split
as well,
on this
right?
one.
I edited Kumar as well.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to do another one to top that one.
100%.
Back to back, Ever standards of beauty. Diapers, shit is bad. Ask for turf, back is dirt. Manicure for the work, but they rather not. Finger work, take out the icy that shit my nerve. Hey, all of y'all been blind to the bullshit, hands off. Not applying the blueprint, dandruff and the lights for your head top. Insects in your brain, bugging you non-stop. See the signs on the street, but you won't. Keep the drive that you need is to roll. Through the lines, depleted control. Fuck on the courtesy, I got this chip on my shoulder.
I feel like that was a hell to edit because you had so much footage
to cram
to
into
squeeze
there, right?
in.
Yeah, because that song is like 2 minutes 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It was like I set up 2 sequences, one for just AP's shots and one for mine, and then I just had to make very tough decisions on what to compromise on
cut, yeah.
and what to cut on. Like there's a lot of stuff that I wish made it on that didn't make it on actually. But it was a challenge editing that, in a healthy way.
Because
like,
it's a very fast-paced music video.
It's a very fast-paced music video, and I think one thing definitely in the future is I'll consider like doing less things and just pushing that idea forward and like making I think one thing you have to consider with music videos is like if someone watches a music video like for 2 minutes, 3 minutes long, there's one thing they're going to take away from it. What is that one thing? What is that one 15-second, 20-second clip that you can hold on to? And that's maybe what Counterfeit is missing compared to. Actually, no, not really. No, there's some
Counterfeit
funny.
has some
it
hilarious
has
moments.
Yeah.
I would
Like you
argue.
gaming and then
Yeah.
No, I lied, but it's like I think that's one thing. Is
That was maybe the funniest moment of the whole thing.
That
Was
was
when AP
fucking
was on the
hilarious.
couch,
Oh,
just like yelling.
Ready? Like what I really enjoyed about Counterfeit was like the exchange of ideas.
Yeah.
And then also like how organized and scheduled everything was. Like it was just like shoot, next scene, and we had all the props ready. Everything was good to go. But like that was fun to me. Like and also just like the interaction with everyone who was there, right? But then there was also like on the other end of like with Kumar, like the
unorganized,
chaotic was like part of that vibe of Kumar, which I like to me that was also a very fun shoot.
Yeah.
So it's like it's hard for me to just
The
pick one of
the
those.
thing that's pretty sweet about Kumar, especially it's weird you're saying it's unorganized and a lot of it was like DIY and whatever. Everything looks exactly like it's supposed to look. Like
yeah, I think we're talking more from a standpoint of the actual shooting process.
I know, but it doesn't come off that way. Is what I'm saying. When you're at the IT or whatever, like it looks like you're there. Like when you're at it's like a spelling bee or something like that.
This was one of the funnest parts of Kumar. This is our vision. We obviously don't have an office to record in that looks like I'm at a telemarketer's job. Yeah, so what can we do instead? So we went to like UFT, like the UFC campus computer lab.
Like UTM or
UTM.
Yeah,
I was like, yo, I think UTM should have like a space that will look like an office in their library.
And next time you watch that video, like this is just like I love how resourceful we are with that video because it's like next time you watch that video, watch that scene with me being a telemarketer, right? That headset is actually just
headphones
with a cardboard cutout of a
mic.
That's not a real mic.
That is not a real mic. Just pause it and just really look at it.
Guys, this has been the My Creative Friends podcast. Again, thank you for being on.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Appreciate you, dude.
We're gonna create some more later on.
Mic.
And we are definitely gonna create, and we're definitely gonna be back on as we level up.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Keep going on with both of our grinds, and I'm so bad at outros.
It's okay.
Yeah. I'm really bad.
Let me fill out the outro. Okay, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And share with your friends if your friends like this kind of thing. If they don't, then just don't do it. Don't share it. They'll be like, "Why are you sharing? You know I don't like this." So,
bro, it's down below. Come on.
There's gonna be things, and I'm not gonna put things in all these directions.
No. I just mean like the like button is somewhere over here.
And we stop.
Okay, sick. Dope.